tilt down here.
If you're heading A, let's swing wide to the right. We just want to distract them and get them as far away from C as possible.
They have someone coming to spot us out over here.
Alright, let's start pushing in towards the point.
Keep going all the way around, Siege Team.
But I lost sight of my team.
Alright, here's a good spot. Let's set up here.
It looks like they have a lot of ranged people. They're just kind of making a wall. I mean, if we're just holding them here and distracting them, that's fine.
How do you place a cannon?
Has to be on your hotbar.
Equip it on the hotbar.
Let's push up and start attacking their back line, get their healers. They seem to have a lot of ranged players.
Two people coming in.
Alright. Are we taking out that one to the left? Yeah.
Yep, every single one.
Alright, it's down. Oh, almost. It's about halfway. It's almost down. There we go.
Alright. We did our job here. We come back to the coastline.
Oh, we got a group ahead of us. 4.
We can fight this. Fight this group of 4 Siege Team. Group of 5.
I don't have any melee.
We have Martone with us. Okay, we can fall back, Siege Team.
Do we not have like another main shot caller for the army? Should I just do that?
Yeah, please do.
Oh, okay. Let's just keep the pressure on A. We don't need to be on the point. Just focus their back line for the most part.
Siege Team, we're going back to base.
Yep, there is 15 people coming at us right now.
Yep. There are 15 people at C. Main army can do some real damage on A now.
Yeah, if you're on A, let's move towards the point. They don't have anyone on there right now. Let's put some pressure on them.
I got like a couple people on the point and a couple by, so if you can...
There's about 5 people here right now. Yeah, it looks like you guys did a good job distracting them over there.
Siege Team, come between B and C.
That one has already been damaged. Well, that's pink at least.
Start aiming at that first cannon between B and C. Martin, you can go on point. That you'll distract more than one person.
What's that desync?
Yeah, we still have a lot of people at A. Basically just a giant brawl.
I don't know if they're
Great job,
the same
Siege Team.
one.
Yep, a far left cannon now, far left cannon.
Okay.
Looks like we're getting pushed off of A right now. Let's start
Got a guy behind us.
regrouping around B if you're dying right now. Don't just rush to A and die.
Actually, main army, can you come around and leave from southwest gate inside the base and meet us at C?
Okay, yeah, if you're at A right now, just go ahead and dive the point and die on point, and then we're gonna regroup at the fort.
Siege Team, keep aiming at any C-related cannon as much as you can. Because as the main army fights, we're going to take it all down. C.
That one's barely getting hurt.
Oh,
we don't have enough people hitting it.
Shit.
Yeah, we're going to it's going to be a full push C, including main army. And if you're on Siege Team,
I think A would be a better
Wait,
option.
can you just...
We still have a lot of people on A and B right now.
Oh, okay. If
We've
everyone's
got
still alive,
really good pressure on the A point right now.
Yeah, if
Push
you're
it.
still alive on A, just keep the pressure up there.
Yeah, we've got insane pressure on A.
We're
scratch
doing a good
everything
job
else.
of distracting them on B as well.
We're stretching it between A and B right now.
So tear back it up.
Siege.
You got 3 people on you.
Siege team, we have to start making our way
you.
towards C. It has 2 more cannons we got to take out.
They're out healing us right now. They shouldn't be able to.
I'm
probably
trying to
running
put
out of
pressure on their
bullets.
back line.
Remember,
On
the
the-
point matter if the healers just.
Yeah, well, yeah, the healers. I'm using all my CC on healers.
Middle cannon's almost down.
Said middle.
Middle, yeah. Right in front of B. Oh, they're healing it.
We shouldn't be shooting any B siege. We should be shooting all C siege.
Right.
Oh, but it's so close though. Okay,
Alright,
it's
focus-
It's down. Okay, yeah, it's down.
Focus
okay.
on the cannon
Back in the
above
C siege,
center
guys.
gate C. Everyone hit that one. Siege team.
Yep, center gate C, please.
Don't.
Where's main army going now?
Come C.
Okay.
Full push C. Siege team, keep working on the siege on C.
If you're at A right now, push forward to get into their back line.
We need everyone in groups 9 and 10 hitting the siege above the center of C, above the gate. If all of us are hitting it, they wouldn't be able to repair fast enough, and they are.
Yes.
Which one do you want to attack? Which one? Left one?
The center one above the C gate.
Okay.
He's about to get flanked, just so you know.
Yep, perfect.
I've got pressure on the healers on C.
Yeah, we got
Just
people coming in
focus
on
on
There we
one.
go. There we go. It's
Yeah,
going
we got
down now.
reinforcements.
Keep
We're
Just
hitting
focus
it.
on one.
After the center cannon goes down, aim for the left cannon. Use all your abilities on point. Use your auto attacks on siege.
They're repairing the center one. They
Keep
got
focusing.
it back to
We'll
full
run out of
almost.
points.
Not my heals.
Good job in their back line on C. This is great. Keep up the pressure, guys.
Keep up that work down there, guys.
Yeah, let's go. We gotta pound this C.
If you're not on the point, go towards B and prevent them from coming into support. We have enough people on point right now.
Is everyone
No
in
more
groups
DPS
9 and 10
on-
hitting the center siege above C gate?
Just pound C.
I am.
Our focus is still the siege. We're using the C point as a distraction. If you have range, you should be focusing the siege.
That middle cannon's like half on
Yeah, we need to keep hitting.
C.
Yep, keep hitting the siege. They're gonna run out of repair parts eventually.
Is our C push still strong? We got a wave spawning.
Yes, it is.
They're,
Let's
they're
send
out
this,
repairing our
let's send
damage,
this,
guys.
this wave to A, guys. Let's go A if you're at the fort right
Okay,
now.
okay.
Yeah, they're cleaning y'all up at C. Don't go C. All siege, run back.
B is totally empty at the moment. Should we walk past it?
Yeah,
No,
walk
that's
past
just
B.
be
Walk
right on
past
it.
B.
Yeah, there's
I meant
three
B.
people. There's 3 people on A right now. I'm engaging them. Maybe 4 people. Yeah, we can push them off of this easily. If you're at A, fight on the point. If you're at C, be focusing the siege down.
Siege team, do what we did at the beginning. Run to coastline.
I have enough for a cannon. Should I grab it?
Yes, please. And siege team, we all have to be shooting the
If
exact
you're at A,
same.
get on, stand on the point. If you're at A,
Yep, yep.
bring the fight
Sorry.
to us.
I'm just using CC on the healers.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
missing
okay.
that. Where do you want siege team right now?
Do exactly what we did at the beginning. Go to coastline all the way around to the side of C. And we're gonna take out the final.
They're trying to
thing.
get bodies on A right now. They're just trying to Zerg in. They're Zerging on A right now. They've got a big wave on A.
Yeah, that's
What's
okay. We did our
happening? So
job.
we gotta
We're just
go.
trying to pull the main army off and distract them.
What's the wave spawning in 7 seconds doing?
I think we should probably go C.
No, B.
Or can we go B instead? Okay.
On the B. We're holding B.
Oh fuck! I already placed it C.
Siege, where do we go? Siege. Teams.
Siege,
Oh, you still on
shoot.
C?
They still have 2 cannons able to shoot at C. We have to get all those out
But they're
first.
using a lot of range for us. That's why. Coming in with tanks.
I'm the only person.
Alright, there's that cannon's going down. Keep hitting it. Keep hitting it. By C. Don't shoot cannons at
Three
people.
six,
Hit
huh?
the siege. Don't shoot the people.
Can we get more cannons up? Oh fuck.
Alright. Now get the one above the center one above the gate.
Okay, let's regroup at 4. Main army.
Are you fucking kidding me? We're gonna push back?
2 guns down.
The center one's almost down, guys. Hit it.
Everyone get a haste potion. Group up inside the fort.
And
We're
come
all
C.
gonna leave the gate at the same time.
Come C when you come out.
Meet at the southwest gate. Everyone get a haste
It's
potion.
down. It's down. Hit the one to the left. Alright. All CC
All
is down.
cannons on C are down.
Good.
Yeah, we're taking it.
Now, everyone, we're gonna push on the point when the main army gets here. Every single person, use your oak flesh bomb, then a regen potion when the main army gets here, and we're all pushing on the point.
There's still one cannon that can hit to the left side of B. We got to take that one down.
No, that one's okay. That one's okay.
That one can hit C though.
No, we don't have enough time to take it down.
Oh,
If your main army, let's get all to C. Haste potion up. Let's get over.
Okay, stop fighting those guys. Everyone haste potion and get to C.
Just run past them. If you get caught, if you die at C, run A. That simple.
what's siege hitting? Just push and point or what?
Yep, push on
We
point.
have pressure on
Everything
the
on
wheels.
point.
On C.
Yeah, everybody get on C. Every single
Pure
person
dump,
should be
every
on the
single
point right now. Let's get a CC dump. I'll do a countdown. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Multiple AoEs in here.
Get me up, Soul. Get me up.
No.
If you just
They're
respawn,
hitting our back line.
let's start heading towards A.
If you're still on C, go between B and C and stop them from rotating.
So the wrong fucking weapon first.
I need
you're at
my
A,
dragon
kill
group
those
to
healers in the
roast them balls
back.
and get it in there.
They're all hasting over to A now.
Do we still go to A?
No, don't go to A.
What if we're already on A?
This is a good distraction right here.
Fight as much as you can.
Okay. Who wants to die here?
Yeah, we're pretty outgunned in this war. Seems like they literally just have a better composition. So if you die, we're gonna do a full B push. Siege teams, anyone with range, shoot down cannons that can shoot B.
I've got the cannon to the left of B, less than half.
Yep. All right, now focus on the
Cannons
cannon
take out
right
those tanks in the middle.
above the middle on B. All the cannons above middle on B for siege team.
There we go.
All right, now right side above B. Cannon right side above. If you're fighting at B, save all your abilities, except ones that help you survive.
Keep hitting cannons, don't shoot point.
We're gonna do a massive skill dump on point when we have enough people up.
Hit that right side cannon, it's getting low. It's at about 10%. Alright, there we go. Now hit
Okay,
the,
retreat back into base. Everyone retreat back into base. Whatever you're doing. Meet at the southwest gate. In 15 seconds. Buy a haste potion. Buy whatever you can. Meet at the southwest gate. Don't go through it yet. We're all buying haste potions.
The respawn timer is 13 seconds from now. That's when everybody gets up.
Alright.
Great.
We're grouping at the southwest gate. Don't go through it. We're just drawing their attention towards it. We're gonna go to the opposite side with our haste potions. They last 20 seconds. We can get all the way to A.
One's up.
As soon as enough of them come over here. Okay, I see about 40 of them. Alright, haste potion, we're going to A. Let's go. Haste potion all the way over to A. From inside, you can use it inside the fort.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, well, we're gonna need more people diving their back line.
Point doesn't matter.
Honestly,
if they're
the
healers
more the
still.
better. So yeah, just like we want to get basically everyone you see that's holding like a staff or a bow.
They still have all their cannons on A.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's okay.
it's okay. If you die, meet behind C. Just meet behind C. Don't don't wait in the work camp. Get all ready. Just meet behind the point of C. And we're gonna clump up. Don't clump up as much as possible. Don't leave the side of anybody else. Just clump up before you actually get to C. I'll be standing over here. Come clump up around me.
Oh.
Don't do solo plays. Don't go off on your own. Don't distract 1v5. Don't use any skills except ones to stay alive to get to this point. We're gonna clump up right here. We're gonna
We
wait.
get heals dropped on point so we have a safe place to go to.
Oh,
As much as you can.
Oh, yeah. Any healers, spam your sacred grounds and beacons around here. Just clump up. We're not actually using any skills yet.
On point when we get up there, because I haven't seen heals on point.
Oh.
Yeah, healers, your beacons and sacred grounds should be focused on the point. Our people that are diving their back line will be able to fall back into them. We just need to keep that consistent, and then the people on point will be able to stay alive longer.
Anyone who's fighting right now, do not use major skills. Do not use your best AoEs. Don't use your best skills just to poke. They can instantly heal them back up just with a food buff. Save everything you have, just auto attack. Alright, people are coming into our back line. Kill them. Just kill them, the people that are running towards us right now. They're overstretched. Like they're trying to 1v5. Literally just fucking murder them. After we kill the first wave, keep pushing forward. Now we're up about 5 people.
We still have people in the background.
Oh, yeah. Just keep killing them. They're overextended. Like 20 of them are on C. If we can't win this, we can't win anything.
You just respawned, haste posting back to C.
Keep fighting here. Don't fight near the actual point. Just keep fighting right here. Just keep coming back, clumping up towards C. We're still over here fighting. Keep on coming back. I know it's a skirmish, I know it's kind of a waste of time, but what else are we gonna do? Just keep coming towards C, everybody. Just keep streaming in. And get all the practice you can. They're vastly overextended right now. No matter what, they cannot win this fight right outside of our base. Keep pushing them. If you're a heavy hitter, enter their backline, just rush into them. Use a haste potion, get into their backline, use everything you can. Oh, please stick around after the war. I want I want a discussion on what people think was the problem in this war specifically, why we weren't able to.
I'm currently killing their warhorns. They have 2 warhorns they've been blowing all game. The second one's almost dead.
Oh, yeah, that honestly might be it.
Oh, my game might have crashed.
Okay, their second warhorn is down. They have no more.
Sage. This is just PvP practice now, boys. Just get in what you can.
Heaven knows I need it.
Oh, the floor's open right now too, everybody. If you saw something specifically besides the war horns,
What
please.
they did to our healers was just instantly ignored everybody and charged the healers. We had like no defense against that.
As a healer, I can agree with that.
All right, healers.
I didn't have a problem staying up.
What the first two healers that spoke just now, are you running heavy armor?
I am.
I ain't.
All heavy.
Okay, the way, so this is Soul talking still. Sometimes I chase 436. I believe we're all familiar with that fucking asshole. The perfect fucking healer. What he does is just circle. Like he circles around points and he actually gets into the back line of us and he's safe there for some reason because we can't like send 5 people into our own back line to take out one healer. So there is a safe spot on the battlefield for everybody. It's probably pretty complicated to find it because it's constantly evolving and shifting. But 436 can read it really well, which is why he barely ever dies.
Yeah, like generally from what I've seen, like I think basically taking what his strategy, like when we get on point, we have like a lot of tanks and stuff, like, and most of their range DPS should be on point or around the point, kind of circling it. When we dive their back line, if we have like 15 melees getting on their healers, that is a good spot for our healers to be as well. Like you are like we're already peeled for you, and like most of their damage is focusing on point. So like when we say like everybody on point, that like literally means everybody. Like you are safer as a healer standing on point in the sacred grounds, like in the fortify buff from Gravity Well, than you are standing in the back when a couple melees can like. And it's not just about dying. Like if a couple melees push you off and you're like distracted running away from them, that's time that you're not attacking and not healing. Also, I think like generally a problem we had with this war, like I don't know if there was like a problem or something, but it seemed like there was just nobody like actually ready to lead it. Like I was not prepared to make shot calls, and I don't think I'm very good at it just because of my play style. I end up dying a lot, and I'm diving the back line, and I can't really lead while I'm dead. And like maybe I missed it, but I don't think there was any like group designations other than groups 9 and 10. Like I think it would have been nice to have a couple dedicated groups for diving the back line.
There was. They just weren't, doing it.
Oh, yeah, I guess I missed that part, but I think like communication is huge and things.
I didn't hear that part either. I have no idea who the designated dive groups were.
Yeah, like
they told us in Discord, and a lot of people agreed to it, but there was no one fucking back there. That's why I was saying we need to grow some balls, but I'm guessing it was a miscommunication.
Yeah,
I was part of that backline, and every time I'd get around one of my guys, they'd end up dying, and then they wouldn't come back. They would go to a different spot. So it's kind of hard to coordinate that when you guys keep telling people that are dying to go to different spots. I think that's where an issue came up.
That is also conflicting issues because it's hard to tell if you're making shot calls. You don't know like the respawn timer. You don't know like the wave of respawns that's happening, unless I guess you're a perfect leader or something. But that is true. Like there would have to be a whole minute to group up, but like we only have 30 minutes, right? So some things have to be like hastily thrown together, but those aren't the strongest. But
I'd like to make a positive comment. Somebody at one point called out respawn timers in 14 seconds, and that was amazing because it allowed me to suicide and then respawn with 3-second timer.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, nice job on that. I think that might be something as well.
I think the best thing to do at the start of any war is take out all the siege right away, and that would have definitely benefited for us because what happens if we start pushing points before siege is taken out, they're just firing cannons onto the point and killing us. Because they're out damaging us already. They're already out damaging us, and if they have cannons firing on the point as well, we're just getting melted. So if you don't take out siege right away, and then come up with a plan to attack points after siege is taken out, we're not going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Every single.
Try that.
Yeah. It did not our siege teams, I was a part of it, so I'm also at fault. We did not take out the siege quickly enough. To take all 4 points is extremely difficult already time-wise, and so siege teams have to be able to take out the siege. Like,
well, that's why you do the whole army. We did it in 6 minutes with our entire army. We had everyone focusing the siege and going from point to point, and we took it all out in 6 minutes. And then from there, we got a point right away. We got
yeah,
like
I do have
A or
to
B
agree.
right away.
I was in that war and like this war, obviously, and it did seem like when we took a really widespread approach with all 50 people and basically just had everyone that had any ranged weapons focus the siege, that seemed way more effective than having a siege team on one side and then trying to distract the rest by throwing the main army at a point.
okay, see, that I also agree with. I think that's a good idea.
Because like in that war, like I mean, like there's obviously a lot of factors. We may have been more stacked, they may have been less stacked, but like you said, like we basically like ended up sweeping the entire thing from left to right, taking out like all of the siege, like most of it, if not all of it, and then we ended up capturing 2 points just like that, like basically all in the same push, and that lasted like 8 to 10 minutes.
That might be like it's crazy because if you think about it from a very base perspective, how long does it take to actually finish a 50v50 fight and take a point? How long does it take to take out all the siege? Like, all of those numbers add up to like over 30 minutes. So if it takes over, like, we took out 2 cannons in about 30 seconds after we got there, the initial siege team push. So it, like, if there's not a split team, I don't know, maybe there just needs to be a better focus fire on siege. Like, I noticed we didn't sweep from left to right. We just fired.
I definitely wasn't a help because I've never done that before. I also only could afford 1 cannon.
Oh, and, yeah. Did you notice how strong the cannons were, though?
Yeah.
If anybody wants a recording of that war where we took out the siege, Chaos from the North has it. You can ping someone.
Awesome, thank you.
There's the full video of it.
Yeah, I think that video is a great resource for people, especially like if you don't really know what we're talking about. You can get some good examples.
I'll go ahead and just throw out there that we were. I feel like there was a period in the war there where we were actually having really good dives on their healers, but then as soon as they I'd say maybe halfway through, then they started using siege on us, and I couldn't get away from the siege. I was slipping the players, but the siege was just shutting us down. So if we got rid of that, we could also like counter their heals a lot better.
Yeah.
Siege. Sorry. So next time, I think dive group should have a dedicated caller, because I mean, Soltaire, were you part of the siege group?
I was designated to be a part of the siege group and then part of the dive group after the siege was all taken care of, except
see.
Like, if you can't take care of the siege in 10 minutes or less, then like every single siege, including the warhorns, then the war is basically lost already as far as attacking goes.
And warhorns have to be the first thing you take out. It has to be the main focus. You have to kill them right away. Get rid of them. We don't want.
I think that might have been the biggest factor, actually, what you just said.
Yeah, they had 2 in the back that I killed with 10 minutes left in the war, but
yeah,
as a healer, I went to kill them.
yeah, like, that's amazing. Just one person killing like multiple warhorns. Like, what the hell? Yeah. Any more feedback. Anything you notice? Anything?
All right, I got a couple. If y'all don't mind.
Hell yeah.
Decent stories. All right, so in the past couple of wars, there is always something that was just fucking great about them. But that was it. We couldn't win the war because we didn't have anything extra. We had one first war where everyone went fucking left to right, took out all fucking siege. But then, like, we fucking fell apart right after that. A war then, like, we fucking had people pulling aggro of some of them towards C, and then the main army towards A, and then we had people going through that and that and that, but they still had siege. And then this one was alright. Like, we had fucking, we had designated roles and shit. We just kind of have to work on that. So we got to do these wars in phases, these attacks. First, we got to do a takeout siege thing, then reset for a little bit, do the A-C split, with that, fucking with these groups, because we can do it. It's just we're focused on one strat, and then after that strat's done, once our phase A is done, we don't have anything else. We're just kind of jerking it on a point. So
I actually think it's better to try to take B first, because then they're much more separated with A and C point. Yeah, they can spawn on points, but still they're still separated from each other. So if there's a group on A for them and group on C is losing, and all of a sudden they see they're losing C, that group from A is probably going to try to rotate back there to help them out. So it's going to take them a lot longer. While if we leave out taking B first, if we don't take B first, then it's a lot easier for them to go in between. That's just my 2 cents.
I haven't actually. No. I've seen that happen in 2 wars. Both of them were purple attacking us, and they took our points really quickly. And this was before exploits and everything. So I actually think that has been overlooked by our side a lot.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
We need to focus B first. B needs to be the first one to take. Take B point. We can split and do A and C.
And I just want to about split pushing. I think it's inherently faulted, because if you can't take a point 50v50 at a disadvantage, then you're not going to be able to take the final point 50v50 at a disadvantage.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you're correct. Actually, you're right. You're totally right.
Even it may actually save time in the initial push, but that's only if it works. If it fails even once, that's a huge loss of time.
I think part of the reason that has been so successful in the past is because of a lack of communication on Purple's part, and they seem to be picking up that slack. So I think that it makes the split push less effective if they're able to split up properly. Because that war in Reekwater, where we took out the siege really quickly that we've been talking about, when we took A, and then I think we took B basically directly after that because they were all focused on C. But we literally just had like 5 people on A, and then they just weren't contested. And then we just took the point.
That was Morningdale, not Reekwater.
Oh, okay. Well, the same thing happened in Reekwater then. I wasn't in the Morningdale war, but that obviously, like, if they would have just had one person in their comms say like, "Oh, hey, people are on A right now," like, then they would have sent 5 or 10 people, and then we probably wouldn't have gotten that point. At least in the one that I was in. And like, if they're able to have that communication, then like split pushes like that won't really do anything, because that's 10 people that could have been helping on the point.
Yeah.
Unrelated, Wednesday we are pushing Windsward, we being Greens in general. Anybody who gets enough people can try to claim it, but the reason we're doing it on Wednesday is because Yellow is pushing Everfall. Thus, we're splitting Sprento up into 2 groups where they have to fight a war at the same time. So Wednesday, Windsward.
Wednesday, got it.
Is there a specific time?
We're starting to probably start sometime in the afternoon, but it just has to be done on Wednesday.
All day.
That's the only thing.
If you have free time, run PvP missions in Windsward on Wednesday. Wake up.
Windsward, Wednesday. Yes.
24 hours.
WWW.
I have one thing too. So this is kind of a micro scale thing. It's going back to the war, and it's something I've noticed in every war I've been in. I've been in most of the green and yellow wars in the last few weeks, and today and yesterday I've felt really sick. Honestly, I'm surprised I'm even here. But one thing I've noticed is every group I've been in, I haven't heard anyone talking at all, and I don't know if that's similar throughout all the groups, but we need people talking, especially in siege groups and flank groups, because if you're flanking in, I mean, it's useful, it distracts them, it makes them divert resources into each other instead of their tanks and people on point, but if you single out targets, like, you're going to be way more effective, and it's impossible to know where everyone is. I mean, things get chaotic, laggy, whatever, and it's very hard to know who's fighting who. And especially as like a ranged DPS, I kind of have to like look around and be like, okay, like, is my guy fighting that guy or this guy? Like, is he low or not? Sometimes I can't see the health bar. Like, using your voice and communicating amongst your own groups is incredibly beneficial too. One thing I do is have the Discord volume a bit louder than people's voices in-game, so that I can hear those overarching callouts more, but then able to kind of hear your own group talking as well. I don't know about other groups, like I've said, but every group I've been in, I don't think anyone's talked, and I think that's a big issue. I'm not sure how you combat that other than just telling everyone to use their voice, but
Do you mean
I think,
do you mean like
yeah,
specific groups, like each individual group?
yeah, like
Well,
because the flank groups, we only had 2 groups, and
Yeah.
as long as that one group is on the same page, like because the way I saw it set up, at least there was like a tank, a heal, and a DPS at least in each group, and they should be self-sufficient enough to take out a healer or something. But I just feel like there should be more communication amongst the individual groups, because I mean those overarching callouts are good, but there needs to be more.
I agree with that. I think that's a good thing to bring up, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, I think it was just a gear score disadvantage. I think a lot of them are a lot more geared than us because we don't win. We're not winning the 50 versus 50, and like, yeah, like the communication is extremely important, but I think that comes after. Like, if we're not able to even just win 50 versus 50, like bluntly, like if it's like matched up, and realistically, it's not actually 50 versus 50. We're actually at an advantage. There's more of us than them because they probably have like 4 people on B, 1 person on A, right? Say we're pushing. Excuse me. Sorry. Say we're pushing C, right? And they'll have people on siege in the backline, right? So realistically, like it's like a 50 versus 4 T2 ish. So we should be winning those first, and then we can think about starting to open up priority targets and like backline. Because like if you're playing a specific role, like I call it the assassin, like you're fighting the backline. That should be what you're doing, right? We kind of have like the overall shot calling, but then as well as you have that, I know what I'm doing because I'm playing this specific role. We don't.
I think that's super important for like the flanking backline groups. Like that's basically all I've done every war, and I really excel at that. And that is something we need to work on for sure. But I know like if I had a group of 5 people and like they were doing exactly what I was doing, and I was like, and I just called out a name, like that person would die. Like
100%.
I've seen it. Like I have a lot of experience. Like, and I've done it a few times. Like we'll be on point and be like, usually in like a 10v10 skirmish, I'm just like, hey, like if you're on A, target this person. Like that person always goes down. So if we have like 2 or 3 parties running around doing that, and they have like, and they stay tight and have the communication, that would make a huge difference. Because this war was basically like, hey, like let's all head A. Some of you go backline, and like that's it. Like if you're leaving, like we're all good players, but like that is up for interpretation when you give a very vague order like that.
Yeah, there should be dedicated groups to doing that. That's it. Like that's your role, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
sure.
like our flank groups should be like entering in together, and I mean having a lot more coordination and synergy. Like in Outpost Rush, sometimes when I go with a few of my friends, like we'll have like 2 bows and a melee player, and we'll flank in and attack the same person, and everyone just dies. We just go from one to the next, and they all just die. And it's that simple. Like, it's the same at the wars. If we have coordination, you can overcome a lot of gear score problems, and you can blame it on gear score, but I mean that's a personal issue that people have to deal with outside the war. Like, we gotta focus on what we can take care of during the war and put our best foot forward there.
I think we need to spread out more and not clump together. We do not need to be clumping together. That's where they can target us as a whole and just AoE dump on us. And if we spread out as an army, we're gonna have a higher chance of killing them, 2v1 and stuff like that, rather than just having everyone in one area together fighting in one specific spot. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's just my...
I agree with everything that's been said. Sorry, I'm just gonna cut in really quickly. The role assignment thing, if we all stick to that exact role, because I think Siege Team had a particular problem with that, where we weren't all doing the exact same thing, or had the exact same mission in mind, then we can accomplish what our job was specifically.
It seems like most of the issues actually comes down to communication, and in real life, in actual war, it's always the team that has the best communication, assuming that your technological advancements around the same sort of measure. And in the U.S. military, that's chain of command, and I felt like we didn't really have that. So having someone saying, "Siege commander," blah blah blah, and they're directing that, and then delivering that individual picture to one person above them, just like having the main arm or backline attackers, all those having commanders, and then giving that to the overall commander, that information that their focus, they're the only person that's looking at that big picture, and then delegating down to their commanders saying, hey, this is where we're lacking, we need solutions. And then, for example, backline commander can say that everyone in our team, let's do this. And then it can go down even one step below that, and you could say Group 5 commander would, in my opinion, likely be the tank, directing them if it came down to individual teams having call-outs. But it did seem like the communications was a bit all over the place, and it really came down to one person having to be in control of all the small pictures and the big picture, and that's a hard thing to do, even in just a simple video game.
You're very right. I think that's multiple people bringing up communication. I wouldn't know specifically how to like arrange that for future wars, but like giving more priority or like splitting up groups. So like siege commander, like main army commander, or like backline commander. Those three would all be in like separate discords, kind of. And then
I know the way that I would do it would be like, at least for one party, I would just mute myself in Discord so that I could I would be, or I mean, if you use push to talk, that makes it simple, but I don't do that. I'm lazy. But basically, I would mute myself in Discord, and then I'd be using in-game voice to talk to my group specifically for calling out names. So that way, everyone in my party would be able to hear all the main shot calls, and then only them, when I call out names, would be hearing that, and I wouldn't be like adding more noise to the main shot calls. But like for diving, like for the backline groups, we probably only need one or two, like one really good group or like two groups for that, and that only like you only need two people like speaking up for that. And like I know I can do one of those groups, and I'm sure we can get one other person to volunteer. Like it doesn't really take much. Like if we get like 5 or 6 people that know like how to communicate well and like understand the war mechanics, like that will make a huge difference. And like we can set that up next time we have a war going.
Sounds good.
I think one big thing we need to figure out. So I'm always ranged. I've been in a lot of wars now on this server, and I see the same names in our backline every time, and they never die. I've never. Every time we get into a fight on the point, like siege is gone, like taking siege out of the equation. Every time the same names hit our backline, they just have free reign. They never die. And we gotta figure that out. I don't know what it is, but we gotta figure that out.
I think like similar to the like diving their backline groups, we could have like a peel group where someone could be like near the healers and then call out a name, and then all the people in the peel group could pull back and kill that one person. Because a lot of that just comes down to like needing the burst, especially like for like I know 436. He's a good example where like if you can put like 2 or 3 people on him, and if he's in his sacred ground, he's not going to die. He's just like, he's really, really tanky. He has a lot of focus. And we can also just kind of learn as we go. Like it would be difficult to do this, but that would be a job for the shot callers to like figure out which people are in like light and medium gear or don't have a lot of constitution that are like willing to be focused. Because if a shot caller is like, oh, hey, like go kill this one guy, and that guy ends up being a pure tank, like you're wasting so much damage on that person, and it only takes one sacred ground to counter all of that.
I'll be real as well. This is probably going to sound pretty dickish, but like if you don't have an escape, you should probably rework your build. Like I usually play as I'm bow rapier, but I have all the defensive abilities for rapier. So
yeah, so that works for us. Like I can dodge away. I don't die very much in war. Like it's completely disruptive, but the healers can't do that, right? We expect them to be in heavy armor. they can't run like we can. So we
Oh,
have
no.
we have to protect them from the
No, that's an
people that die.
expectation.
Healers can. A lot of them run Ice Gauntlet for the thing.
I
think
use
Ice
Ice
Gauntlet-
Gauntlet as a mage, and healers can do that too. So, and I can get away just fine with mostly just Ice Gauntlet.
I'm a healer.
I
and I
think
run
that-
Great Axe for the dash to escape.
Yeah, I think there is like an onus on people to not die as much. Like Soltaire said, you can get away if you rework your build.
Yeah,
as a healer,
it's
you're
still very
gonna get your
disruptive.
escape from your second weapon, and like it is disruptive. But like if you're like for a healer, for example, like if your option is to stand there and like be a little bit tanky, like maybe drop your sacred ground on yourself and stay alive, or like switch weapons, use a dash, maybe a dodge, and then switch back to your life staff and put your sacred ground back on the point. Like that is almost always going to be better.
This is getting pretty micro type stuff at this point. Not really.
Well, I mean,
like
some people
armory
might
improvement.
need that information though.
It is pretty useful though.
A lot of people left, but another thing to remember is across all of New World, defense has won about 80%. So losing a war is it's not doesn't mean you're bad necessarily. There's an inherent, obviously an inherent advantage on defense, and it's huge.
Oh yeah, it is huge. Like absolutely, but like not capture a single point. Huge. Like that's
Yeah.
There's a lot to go on to not capture a single point.
I think one thing individuals need to do is look at people in similar roles, and if you're not performing as well as them, I think you need to look at switching something up, whether that's gear or your build, or just grinding out a lot of outpost rush to get better at the PvP.
Or quitting your job and playing this game 24/7.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I did.
That is to go off of that. That's like a really good point where like don't be afraid to like ask questions. This is Prophet speaking. Like I personally, I pretty much exclusively play Hatchet Great Axe. Like if you're running that build and you're like, if you just like want to know what I'm running or whatever, like feel free to ask me. Like maybe we can get some of the top players to like take screenshots of their build and like just like this points and stuff, and this maybe like a couple pointers on like when you use your skills, like just like how to be effective, because like just a couple little pointers like that can make a huge difference for someone that like maybe doesn't exactly know what they're doing or like wants some guidance. Like don't be afraid to ask people.
Yeah, and Outpost Rush is a huge learning tool. Like, I mean, it's a good amount different than Wars, but I can tell you that like doing Outpost Rush all the time throughout the day has helped me tremendously. And you get these like key things that you do and like combos and knowing which situations where you have the advantage and not. Like I would really urge anyone who's going to be doing a lot of wars and signing up for them to do as much of that as you can. Yeah, and another thing, someone brought up the backline issue. I think if like our flank group kind of falls apart and is dying and regrouping or whatever, I think something that they could do is clearing our own backline as we're grouping up and trying to get our bodies back. I think that could be a decent way to help. I think we should have a definite way to help our backline, but I think that's something that could help, because it seems like Purple always has people in her backline no matter what. Like, there's always...
Every time.
Someone needs help in the backline, from what I've seen.
Anyone else have anything that they want to add? I'm probably going to be splitting this call up pretty soon.
I do want to just make a separate comment about the backline. We said we could have a group fold back. If there are people that are rushing our backline cause us to fold backwards in on ourselves, that's also a loss for us. So we have to be careful not to do that too much.
Yeah, that's why I think relying on range to take care of it's bad. It takes like taking my focus and trying to kill like a single heavy Great Axe user in our backline is a terrible use of like resources. Like we need other melee to counter them.
I think the concept of backline might be wrong. Like I don't think we should have maybe we're calling it backline but not meaning backline. We shouldn't have a location where all of our squishy healers and they should be spread out with the melee people, not necessarily standing in a group behind our melee.
Yeah, I did
That makes
notice
any
that
sense.
in this war. I'm sure it's been the case in other wars too, but it kind of seemed like we had a group of like 10 or 15 people that seemed like mostly the healers, but they were just kind of like sticking together. Like it seemed like maybe like a safety in numbers thing. Like I get that, but that's like the opposite. Like as a Hatchet Great Axe user, when I dive their back line, if I see like 5 to 10 healers all clumped up and I hit them in a gravity well, that's like the nicest thing I can possibly ask for.
Yeah, because we were starting to do in our wars is not. There is no there when people would say they're diving our back line, but someone would yell out, "There is no back line. Move forwards, join the tanks. Run to their back line."
I
Things like
personally
that.
don't think we can do that anymore because of the resilience is taken out. Like running light armor now, I die in a flash if I'm in the middle of that shit.
I still think heavy armor is the way to go for almost everybody.
I'm talking just.
But yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
like
mean,
it definitely makes a big difference now, like not having the
I think
resilience.
just Dex users should be light, or like ones hitting their siege. I don't know that because that's my escape route, right? Like we talked about before. That's how I live. If I'm in heavy, I die, or I can maybe fight them a little bit, and if someone notices,
Yeah,
they
I
can
mean,
help.
it
But
definitely depends on your play style. Like I know a lot of people that run light and like they're really good at dodging, and that makes it worth it for the most part. But like, when we're like trying to emphasize like pushing on point, like when you're standing on sacred ground and you have a couple fortify buffs, being in heavy armor versus light armor makes a huge
Yeah.
difference. Like you are able to stand on the point and like take a lot more hits.
I just added the stat
almost-
breakdown for this war to my spreadsheet. I've been tracking every war I'm a part of, so if anybody wants to see the performance of anybody on allies or enemies, they can look at that spreadsheet. Dropped it to
I
general.
use bow, and I'm not gonna lie. If I hit you twice in the head, you're gonna die in light every single time. I haven't found one person in light gear yet that doesn't die in 2 shots.
I don't think I've ever died from a bow or a musket in light armor. I wear light armor because they don't get the second hit. They get one. You can get away, and I guarantee you will not hit me a second time.
I don't know.
Also,
You have
another
to
thing
clean up
before I,
with Crush,
before
it's
I
not
throw
gonna happen.
a pot, a health pot, a regen pot, and food. I'm telling you, I've been in like 20 wars and I've never died to a musket or a bow. Never.
I think another thing, this might be like this gets like a little more complicated and obviously like more expensive and time consuming, but people can run like dual rules. Like there's not like classes in this game. Like you're not stuck as like a cloth user or something. Like you can start the fight as like pure light armor like Dex and like have a musket with ruinous and like sweep their siege really fast.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
you don't
doing.
even have to be like you don't have to be like spec'd into Dex if like that's not your build. Like you could do a respec if you want to do like all in on that strategy. But then like once you take the siege out, everyone regroups at fort, swaps on their heavy strength gear, and then everyone can fight on point. Like you're not like you can switch weapons and switch armor whenever you want. So like that could be something to look into. Like we could have almost the entire army with muskets, just like one shot all their cannons really fast, and then everyone switches the musket for like a great axe or warhammer or something else.
Interesting.
Well,
yeah, like
that was
I'll
a
wear
lot of good
heavy on
feedback.
defense, but not on attack. Like on defense, I'm sitting on siege, and you can just take more hits before you have to get off. But
Yeah, well, I'm gonna head to a different Discord. I think we had a lot of good feedback this time.
Yo,
I'm
I'll
not sure
say
if there was like a mistake or anything, or if someone had like a like wasn't able to get in Discord. But like I don't want to blame anyone or like blame good comms or anything, but it just seemed like I know Soltaire was designated to lead the siege group in terms of communication, and like there just didn't seem to be anyone else like to lead the main army or be like a general shot caller. Like I tried to speak up a little bit, but like I've never really done that before.
I mean, we only had 48 people at the end on our team.
Oh, bummer.
Like that's a problem too.
All right, GG guys.
GG. If anyone has more like any small, any big, like observations, I would love to hear them because I want to consume as much as possible.
I have the full war recorded. I'll upload that probably in a day or two to YouTube, and I'll share the link in this Discord from healer perspective.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
You can also listen to the voice comms, and there's a lot of dead air that happened.